Hey guys, welcome back to another Toby G builds. So today I'm going to be adjusting these PSR struts in my Ford PX1 Ranger. So these are a 2 to 5 inch lift and they're quite simple to adjust with the right tools. I'm going to be doing it from home in a couple of hours today. So first thing is just to crack the wheel nuts here, get them loose before we get it up in the air. And now we're just going to jack the car up from the chassis, get that wheel off the ground. So now I'm just going to chuck these jack stands under the chassis here, just for a bit of added safety, and because I'm going to be needing to use that jack later on. So I'm going to be winding down the jack now, down onto these stands, so I can use this later. Now I'm just going to take the wheel off, just working on one side at the moment, but you can do two at a time. And I also like to just chuck the wheel under the car for a bit of safety. If you line under the car, this way it's just going to land on the wheel and you'll be safe. So now we got access to all this here, and I'll just run through a bit of what's going on. We got the upper control arm, this is the strut, and this is the thread we're going to be winding up. Tie rod here, CV here, and then we got the brake lines, which these are extended ones from All Terrain Industries, which I installed. So now this is where the jack comes in handy. I'm just going to be putting the jack under the lower control arm here. So what this is going to do is I'll show you, it's going to compress the spring. Once I start to jack it up, you'll see that spring is going to start pushing up against each other, and that spring is going to just compress, and it's just going to do the hard work for me. And I'm just going until the car gets lifted up off the stands, and then you'll see I go up on the stands aren't holding the weight anymore, so I'm going to bring it back down a bit until the weight's on the stand, but we still get a bit of spring compression. So now I've got these spring compressors here. These were like $50. They go on the springs like that, and then you just tighten it from up the top. You can use a spanner or a socket, which I couldn't get the socket on that side, but I could get it on the other side, thankfully. So here I'm going in with the socket, makes everything a whole lot easier, and it compresses in probably about half the time. But the spanner works just fine. So now I'm just going to bring this jack back down. What this is going to do is put all that spring pressure into the spring compressors, and now it's no longer pushing up against that collar that we're trying to wind up, as you'll see in a second here. Now there's a gap in between the spring and the collar, so now we're not twisting the collar up against all this extra spring compression, which is going to make it 10 times harder. So now we've got a good gap there, and this is that red collar is what I'm going to be twisting. Just got this little 5mm Allen key, which is the lock bolt, and I'm just going to undo that one, and then that's all you need to be able to twist that collar. So I bought this tool from PSR. It was $20, and this is made for this, so it fits all the nudges perfectly. You can also use a flathead and a hammer. It just moves a little bit slower, but it will get the job done. So I gave it a quick measure. This is about halfway through. I got to about 25mm. I'm just measuring how much thread I got, and I want to get to about 35-40, so I'm going to keep going. And here's the tool in action. It's saves a lot of time. It's the best $20 I've ever spent. It does get a bit hard towards the end. You can always get a breaker bar on there. It's going to make it a lot easier. As you can see here, it starts to get a bit stiffer, because once that coil starts to get up towards the spring, it's going to become harder. So now I've got it about where I want it. This is 30 mark. Yeah, about 35. So I'm pretty happy with that, because I still want my CVs to be usable. So now I'm going to tighten that Allen key back up, and now I'm just jacking the jack back up. So what this is going to do is take all the pressure off them springs again, and it's going to be less unwinding on those spring compressors that we put on earlier. So now you can see I've just got the socket on the last one. I've already got the other one out of the way, and I'm just going to be removing this one, and we're not going to be using it anymore. So now I'm just going to be taking that jack off the lower control arm, and what this is going to do is just put all the pressure back on those springs, and this is the last time that we're going to be moving around with the lower control arm. Now I'm just chucking the wheel back on, and we're pretty much done. So here I'm just lowering the car. I took the stands out, and I'm just lowering the car for the final result to see what the lift looks like. So I'm pretty stoked with this result. I think it's lifted the front quite a bit, and the CVs aren't at a ridiculous angle, so I can still go forward driving, and they're usable, as you can see here. So that's going to wrap up today's video, but thank you guys for watching. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and give me a comment on what you guys want to see, because I got a couple videos coming up, just some installs. But if you guys want to see something and have any questions, just feel free to leave them in the comments.